Okay, we got a water damaged iPhone here. It's a white iPhone 11. Here are just a few tools you'll need. You definitely won't need all of them. You definitely will want a seal and the 3 necessary screwdrivers.
Want to represent Code BlueCam? Check out our newly released merch in the description below. As always, thank you for your support.
So first thing you do is you take out the 2 pentalobe screws at the bottom. Definitely keep track of your screws. Then you're pretty much just going to want to very carefully pry the old display up. Since it's broken, we don't have to be too careful. You can actually use hair dryers for this part as well. I almost recommend hair dryers for beginners because the heat guns can put out a lot of heat and damage components fairly quickly. Like I said, the screen is already broken, so you don't have to be too careful. I'd recommend a plastic spudger, definitely for beginners, especially when you're popping the Lego connectors for the display, which are located there.
Stand up. Sarah, stand up. No. For what?
You're just kind of pulling the seal apart here.
For what? For what? For what? No, I did not.
These screws you're going to be taking out are insultingly small. Most of them are tri-head, tri-point. And just be super careful because you're, dealing with the internal components right on top of the motherboard. As you can see, I'm not keeping track of my screws, but there's a little diagram right there. Most beginners should definitely use.
I did nothing. I stole nothing. Bring me to the park. You're illegally detaining me. I did nothing illegal. You saw me walking out of
Once again, not a good idea to use the metal spudger on the connectors if you're a beginner. It's just so much easier. It's a little more precise than the plastic ones, I've found.
Seriously, walking on the street is not illegal. What did I do? Why am I here?
And once you get the connectors off, you can pull the old display off and take your time and get that seal off of the frame. I guess shout out to Code Blue Cam there. We had to didn't realize that video was playing in the background. Anyway, still pulling the seal off. And be very careful if you're using, tweezers or some kind of a flat point, tiny flathead or something, because you can easily puncture the battery and damage other components. And take your time putting the seal on, especially if you want to retain the waterproof and dust proofing. Taking your time is basically the idea for all the repairs. I actually recommend iPhone 11s for beginners just because how cheap the screens are. Due to them being LCD and not OLED. Okay, seal's done. Now we're going to swap the loudspeaker. And I think the proximity sensor, or no, that's all built into the Face ID stuff. Or possibly, I don't know. Three Phillips and a tri-point. A very tiny tri-point, the tiniest. Be very careful. You can use a little alcohol on this part. Loosen up what little bit of adhesive there is. And due to Apple's nonsense, believe it or not, Face ID will not function after swapping to a non-legitimate screen. Well, even if the screen is legitimate, or Apple, an Apple original, you still have to program it. Which I think the programmers are fairly cheap. But this customer wants a quick and easy job, and she doesn't even use Face ID, so. This is probably the most taxing part of the whole repair. I think it's the mic that I'm prying at there. Could be something else. Make sure everything's pressed in there perfectly, and then you can flap the loudspeaker back over and first screw in the little tri-point, and then the 3 Phillips. And now your seal's on, now your loudspeaker is on your new display, and you're ready to slap her back together. Definitely need to get yourself an iFixit kit too. These things are amazing. I have like 6 of them. Leave them everywhere. Car, the office, home, garage. Forgot to mention, when you pop the battery off at the beginning, the battery connector, you kind of want to bend it up a little bit so it can't sit there and bounce off and arc, or slide a little piece of paper in there while you're doing the repair. Now that we've popped our 3 Lego connectors back together, test and make sure the phone works. Turn that bad boy back off and throw our brackets back on and our tri-points. Making sure not to disturb the seal. And when you close the phone, you're going to want to start at the top, middle, and then bottom, and then slowly sandwich it together, keeping even pressure all over. And then kind of want to rub the edges and press down, and let the seals set. You'll hear a little click and little clasp. Or the crunch. Get that crunch. Not the crunch of the screen breaking, but make sure the seal's set and the screen's fitted. Throw your 2 pentaloupes in. And then test and make sure the touch function still works and everything still works. Your phone is ready, sir. Love that guy's TikToks. He's the best phone repair guy. I'll second to phone repair guru. He's the GOAT. But yeah, we do a pretty good job ourselves.